But anyway, let's start from, I guess I'm going to start over on the red side. We'll just get started. Product is probably, we're probably not going to have too many people watching this review, honestly, because it's a pretty well-known map, but we'll just do it for review's sake.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, usually just the rollout's really simple. You just use your power jack, preferably. You have two choices here. I mean, technically three, I guess, but you either want to walk through main underneath this bridge, little bridge, or you walk through valley, or grass, whatever your team calls it. I usually don't like going through under the main bridge too often because, especially like against Demoman who always spam here, but usually Demoman will put some stickies down right around here. And if you and your medic like start trying to get through here, if their Demoman gets there early enough, you're gonna have a hard time. So it's like even if you get the reflex, like sometimes your Demoman's like right here spamming, and if the other demo puts a sticky right here, you can't really, like, you'll have to shotgun it or like detonate or scorch shot it, because if you air blast the sticky, you might air blast it into your demo and get him killed or something. So like there's ways around the spam and ways to dodge it, but it's a little bit risky, I think, going through here, even if it's a little bit faster, I think. But coming up on the left side, what's up?
I was also saying this bridge is called Japan.
Oh, I think Japan is actually the sight line up here. You come up to the upper area.
I thought this was China. And that's...
So yeah, China's up here. You want to come up the stairs, I can show you what Japan is. So snipers can peek off the side right here. This is usually what I imagine when I hear Japan. Usually we just call this like little bridge or something like that. Okay. I mean, I guess it can be called Japan too. I've never heard someone refer to Japan and then like sniper in Japan, and then I never see a sniper like right here unless he like rotates. Usually it means he's up here. But yeah, those are the usual callouts. House, China, Japan, cliff, valley or grass,
right
nook
here, concrete,
or rock.
Where I'm at. Concrete. And then
stairs
grass,
if you want to be super accurate. What is this?
Or grass.
Oh yeah, this is grass. Yeah, this is grass.
And the same you call grass was valley.
Yeah, that was valley. And then there's what do people call this? What's that? Connector. I've heard some people call it secret, but I think connector is the most common thing. Caution is over here by the hand.
And here's boxes.
That's a really important call. Spied sniper. Sniper's up here if your combo rolls out cliff. And they can see that. You see you crossing that, so it's a pretty dangerous spot for sniper to be, so you want to know that call out. You got rock, you got nook, is what I usually hear this being called these days.
Or pocket.
Pocket, oh yeah, pocket or nook, those are both things that this area is called. Caution, point, not too much else, it's a pretty simple map. Oh yeah, here's soldier spot, detonate spot, whatever you want to call it. Do you have any other callouts for what this little area up on top of this shack is?
No, I don't. I think it's that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should go on general like strategy.
Yeah, let's move on. So yeah, like we were saying, the rollout. You usually want to roll out main or valley. I
usually hold. Okay, I usually hold where the dispenser is, like here. If it's dispensers here, I usually hold by here. You know, kind of like over
yeah.
here,
When you're holding, yeah. If you're doing a mid fight, you're gonna want to like chill out around.
You're right here.
Like
yeah,
around here,
right here,
or right here. Just be careful of the sniper. Lots of times snipers will go cliff, so just keep it. Like the main thing you're going to want to focus on is the sniper calls. Try to keep an eye out on where the sniper is at all times. So
yeah, because this is a really good sniper map.
Yeah. So like, if you're gonna play on the right side, just make sure that there's not a sniper on cliff side, unless you know he's like terrible or something. But usually you're gonna be kind of keeping your demo safe from like rushing scouts. Just discourage them. You don't want to commit your whole body into this. Usually, the way I see teams play this out is you play pretty passive, like kind of baiting the point until you get like a pick or two. Usually you wait for your sniper or your spy to do something, or your demo. And then once you get like a couple numbers or big damage advantage, you can start pushing with your demo. So depending on where your demo goes, you might like push through left side or right side. Usually you want to like listen to that call. If you like to play with combo as Pyro, then you'll probably want to like stick relatively close to your demo. Not too much, so you don't want to eat the same damage. But you can just kind of keep scouts off of him, keep whatever random classes off of him, keep spam off of him if he's fighting the other demo. That's really useful in a demo v demo if the Pyro's there to reflect spam from one of them. So just helping your demo is a pretty good option for the mid fights. Keeping your the thing is like spies kind of come in after a little bit of time. So after you try to get a feel for like how long it takes for spies to cross in. They'll usually be cloaking in. They might walk in through here. They might jump on top of these boxes, jump over somebody. They might just straight up walk like up here if no one else is if no one's on cliff. The most tempting spot for spy, probably gonna be walking in through this side of the point. Boxes, maybe connector or junction, whatever it's called. I've seen some spies kind of like chill out around here in caution. Just kind of biding their time, because usually there isn't much spam over here, because most like in the mid fights, players aren't really walking like right here unless like they're trying to take a lot of space with their demo or something. So a lot of times you might catch a spy like just kind of chilling out, watching the action from over here.
Probably with the cloak and dagger.
Yeah, usually with the cloak and dagger if they're gonna be like chilling out right there. But otherwise, if they get behind you, if you don't catch them on their rollout, after a few moments of time, or especially like if your team's about to do a push in, or if you're about to rotate out, spies like to decloak like around here, especially if your demo's right here, spamming, and if your combo is over here.
Also in house.
Yeah, they like to decloak in house, up on China, dropping down, even right here sometimes. Sometimes they just also literally decloak right behind your team if there's a lot of action. Yeah, they can decloak on top of the bridge if they go around all this way. So this will take longer for them, but they can jump to the bridge and decloak on top of it. They can hide behind this thing. Oh yeah, you can actually jump on this thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it actually doesn't take too long to get here.
So as a rule of thumb, I usually have 15 seconds after the spy respawns for like spy time.
Yeah, that's pretty wise, I think. Yeah, so there's like a few nooks and crannies. The main threat with the spy is whether you're on the rollout or if you're holding the point. If your demo's on one side and you're on the other side, maybe you're protecting your medic, maybe you're protecting him for Uber advantage or something. It's gonna be on either you to predict that the spy's like expecting you to be chilling over there, and to, say you're holding with your medic over here, your demo's over there. You can just kind of walk over here and put some flames around here, and you might catch the spy, because if he's chilling out over here and seeing that you're with the combo, he's gonna, and your demo's just, you're not turning around ever, because your demo won't ever turn around because he has to spam a lot. That's like a really common thing that you see happen.
Stickies.
And vice versa too. If you're on the, excuse me, hit my mic. If you're on this side, you might want to, and your demo's on the other side, he might decloak in house or around here, or even literally directly behind him. Sometimes that happens too. Up on cliff too, that happens. Another spot they can hang out is like around right here, on this little ridge thing. You can even squeeze in like all the way through this thing. So it's there's a few areas where they can come from, so just kind of keep an eye out. So if you've won the mid fight and you've got the point capped, if you have even Ubers, you usually don't want to play too aggressive, unless you have some sort of other advantage besides Uber.
Hello.
Oh hey.
Hello.
Welcome.
We meet again. Alright, so...
Hold on, let me see. What was your name? Okay, Loxic. Oh, it's Loxic. Good to see you, Loxic.
Hi.
Yeah, so we were just... What's up?
Oh, nothing. I was just bragging. I was gonna brag for a second.
Oh, go for it.
No,
Feel free.
The best open pyro is here.
Woo!
Oh no, I'm scared.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
I'm probably the worst pyro in open because I'm using a toaster.
No, you have too good of a name to have to be the worst pyro. Way too good of a name for that.
Well, I have my monitor off because when I was playing Vigil, like Spy got our medic and Scout. Well, also our medic was kind of brain dead.
Yeah, it happens. It's not always your fault. Pyro, honestly, like it's very rare that a team is gonna lose because of their pyro. Maybe at the very top level that'll happen, but for the most part, like pyro can't really win games. It's mostly gonna be on your more powerful classes.
And they also keep on yelling at me to use Scorch Shot.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a decent weapon.
But
I like Scorch Shot on this map too. For like spamming out people that are camping. Since we're talking about Scorch Shot, may as well say the soldier's like chilling out up there. You can just plop a Scorch Shot at him. It's a little easier than Detonator, I think, even from low ground.
I sometimes like soldiers would like get into like planes like right over here. And like they'll just bomb in like either behind or
where are you at? I can't
like
find you.
An alternative like bombing style. Or
is this Smokey? Who am I looking at?
You're looking at Smokey.
Okay, let me join the blue team.
This is me. I'm the dude with the
unusual.
attendant.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a cool hat.
Yes, I like the attendant. Let me come find you again really quick before we continue. What we were talking about before, so we don't forget, was talking about holding the point. But we can go on to the soldier stuff you were mentioning really quick. So yeah, what were you gonna say about soldier?
Oh, like here's like soldiers like bombing like at least for me like soldiers like if you're like on blue team like say for example like wait this is not blue okay like if you're on blue side here like here the soldier like the enemy soldier might like go here and just bomb the medic behind
from behind you, yeah, or they might just bomb up to like China to annoy your sniper or kill him, or some soldiers like I saw Jay do this. He's really good at this game. They just like jump around and run away forever, especially if they have the black box. They just kind of spam you, annoy you, and then the moment you see them, they just run away. So that can be really frustrating to deal with. But definitely you want to like keep track of where they're going so that they don't surprise you with the bomb. Whether it's from behind, you know, from the grass area, from behind your house or behind your cliff, or just, you know, they can. I believe there's some bombs they can do like off this rock to get them like do some fast bombs. There's some bombs you can do off this wall here too, to either like, you know, they can jump from maybe behind rock up to this wall and bounce off of it to get to behind your rock or something. So like try to keep an eye out on the kinds of bombs that you see the soldiers do in your scrims, and if you're not already aware of like most of them, you can kind of pick out a few of them that a lot of soldiers like to use. One thing about the Scorch Shot that I was gonna mention,
they also can get
up
here and just. That did not work.
I don't think you can. Can you get up there? Really?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you mean on this rock? Yeah, on the rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to get on the bridge.
Classes, you cannot get up there at all.
Yeah. If you have the detonator, you can. But Pyro being up there is not great. It's not that great. You're kind of a sitting duck.
You can go for like a flank play style, but I don't know how players would use that as like a flank play style.
Yeah, up here maybe you can like
easily seen.
You can detonator up to this rock, and then detonator to this rock, and then detonator to their combo and have no health. If they're on cliff, I guess.
What I did in my stream, I just like jumped onto this rock, and like I just saw like their entire combo, and I just like whoop, and instant amount of damage.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, combo just like almost like freaking destroyed.
Yeah, like or even if you don't do damage, if you manage to push one or two of them off the cliff, that just gives you some room to escape.
Yeah, but this is what I like to do, or at least for like some pyros, they like to have this like frontal hold of like Steve calls it like you can get like other picks over here if like you can like get out the sniper if the sniper isn't too aware.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Depending on the awareness of the team, like basically the more aware the enemy team of the pyro is, the less effective your flank's gonna be. So that usually you just want to bail as soon as someone sees you, unless you like know they have kind of a slow reaction time. You can kind of get away with one pick or something. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities for Pyro to do some flanking on this map, depending on the team you're facing.
Ooh.
One thing I wanted to mention before I forget about the scorch shot, not only can you deal with like a soldier kind of passive spamming from the rip Etika, from the Etni spot. There's also oftentimes you'll see passive heavies chilling up on the cliff. And usually what they do is they just kind of sit here, watch over their team's back, and then if someone gets too aggressive forward, they can drop down onto the rock and demolish them. So one thing you can do is, if their sniper isn't going to demolish you, if you have the scorch shot or a detonator, but I think scorch shot's a little better because usually heavies are not too hard to hit, and it does more damage. You can just spam them over and over and over again. Just keeping an eye out on your own team, make sure that they're safe too. You're not letting the spy kill your medic or something while you're doing it. But that takes up a lot of heals, and it forces the heavy to either leave or like commit to a fight or something. Like it just puts them in it just makes that spot impossible for the heavy to hold permanently, and they have to drop down to their team or otherwise just leave the fight, and they're basically down half a player. So if you see like a passive heavy, passive soldier, I think the scorch shot might be a decent, or detonator. I think those might be decent secondaries, just because you can kind of take two players out of the game. What's up?
I mean, in my opinion, I think the detonator would be like better for like situations like this,
because
like,
you have low ground, so you're gonna be more likely to get the splash off, I think.
I mean, if you were like in a losing situation, then honestly, like, if you were to like use detonator in this, you can like in midair over here, and if like players are sitting over here, it'll just like owie.
Oh yeah. You can do some aggressive bombs with it every so often. It's like not gonna happen all the time, I think, or unless like the enemy team lets you do it. If they let you do it, then go for it. So yeah, that's definitely important to like. If you have the detonator, you can jump over like a bunch of random things. Like you can jump over this fence. You can jump up to China, either to the enemy China or to your own China to protect your sniper, or up to cliff, something like that to surprise a spy. Oftentimes spies don't expect you to like jump up these rocks to go chase them, but if you're on detonator and they're kind of like playing in a spot where they normally they'd have to see you climb up the rock so they could react and run away. If you detonator jump around that area, they're going to be possibly surprised by that. So the utility of the jumping is pretty useful. I just think that the damage of the scorch shot is particularly good against the passive spamming style or the passive heavy, just because they're relatively easy to hit, even with low ground. So like particularly I think if you see that passive playstyle, you might want to try the scorch shot, but detonator can also be really useful.
I also have
I'm
one
a bit
thing.
confused. How do spies? Hold on, I'm gonna switch to spy for a second. Hold up.
We talked about a few of the spy spots.
Yeah, I'm talking about like how do spies get up Japan? Like,
Oh,
do they just,
I could show.
There's a few areas.
Oh
So,
yeah, I was running ambient pre.
Is this the case, Loxic? Is this little bridge called Japan? Do you like call it Japan too? Because I usually don't.
Oh yeah, here. This is Japan. This bridge is China. This is Japan, where like some engineer slide.
Oh wow, okay, maybe I was wrong because I literally always assumed Japan was this particular sight line.
Oh yeah.
I'll show you how you get. That's how you get up there, and they can decloak.
But yeah, you can get up on the little bridge by jumping on the window.
Trick stab.
Yeah, so it's definitely a little bit of a
360.
spooky spot.
No. Well, I have one thing to say. You could do something what I did in a pub, which would probably get you killed in a scrim or official. You could use the thermal thruster, just be like right here.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you didn't hear
You
me.
cut out, yeah.
Okay, so what I said is you can use thermal thruster. You'll probably die, but you gotta have that for the epic frag movie. Okay, you have the back burner. You jump. You go by cliff if they're by cliff. And you just go behind them and just kill them all with the back burner.
Oh, genius.
The only time I did that was in a pug.
I'm surprised because that thing is so loud. Like, I'm super surprised that you managed to get anybody with that, but that's awesome. Yeah, so
Epic.
I want to kind of get back to just talking about the holds and the pushes, Uber ad, dis ad, stuff like that. So generally, you'll see like a dispenser in pocket. Your team kind of, maybe your medic's like chilling out around here. It's a little vulnerable to spam from across like a mile away over here. Sometimes soldiers will just jump and shoot a rocket and just kind of be really annoying. Kill the dispenser or something.
That's dirty.
Oh yeah, this
my
spot right
God.
here, yeah, that's definitely something that we showed before. But yeah, it's like...
I just discovered this spot until now.
There you go. Yeah, it's a pretty solid little hiding area. The thing about it is that it's more easily spy checked by like an aware team because you can shoot through here. So like I can hit Smokey even with flames.
Oh no.
But you can't really spy check as easily if they're like on the fence. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely a cute little spot. But yeah, if you're generally going to be chilling either with your medic or your demo, do some standard spy checking around for or keeping an eye out for bombs. Depending, especially when your team has uber advantage. Especially if you just kill their medic. A lot of teams, especially on Koth, if you
Also,
kill the
just
enemy
watch out
medic, they
for-
tend to immediately try to bomb after your medic. So you might want to play a little closer to them, protect them from bombs or coordinated spy attempts, things like that. What were you gonna say, Lexic?
Like I was just gonna say, like, well, I don't know if I'm correct or not, but
No worries.
like, because I never had situations like this except for like, lobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like
Pods,
try to
like
make sure you
pods.
air blast the spam because like
Yeah.
whenever I was like in lobbies, it's like, oh my god, it's like it's just like there's like a bunch of spam here and like
All
or at least
behind
whenever
this area is really dangerous right around here. It's super dangerous for
Yeah.
spam.
Yeah, no, because like I died here a few times. Like, how do I
Mhm.
keep dying?
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely the thing where it's like you can't really air blast everything, and I don't think you should try to like focus primarily on air blasting spam. What you should do, and what your team should do is everyone should be trying to dodge the spam, get out of the spam angles, get out of the spam lanes. But if you're trying to get something done, maybe your demo's trying to do his own kind of spam or things like that, and you start sort of taking more risks and getting more, into those spam lanes, that's when you can start playing with your team a little more and keeping the spam off of them. Basically, you don't want to like waste air blasts, especially if you're running degreaser. You don't want to waste air blasts on spam that's not going to hit anybody. And so that's why everyone on your team wants to like do their best to avoid the spam on their own. But if you see something kind of, maybe they take a risk or they get a little unlucky, do your best to react to that and sort of, track the arc of the projectiles, kind of see where your team's going to be. Maybe you'll reflect some that aren't going to hit your team, but you're just not sure, so that's totally fine. But yeah, like spam is really, really powerful. Spam and sniper are the most powerful things on this map, so definitely keep an eye out for demo spam. So even soldier spam, if you're playing passive by the Nook or the pocket, just spam from miles away can happen. Even heavy spam if they're playing passive up here. If you start walking onto the point, they can just kind of shoot you. So keep an eye out for it can be really chaotic and hard to keep track of everything. But...
Also, just like a little tip for like Pyro, or at least like mostly for cough maps. Like if you're like holding the point, there's like a few seconds remaining. Just when there'll be a bunch of No, I mean there will be a bunch of people just like going into the point. There'll
Just
be a soldier
bunch
demo
of
bombing
floating
in. There'll be
point
someone
signs
pushing.
coming.
Yeah, and like what I'll tell you to do is just like stand on point and just like wait for soldiers or demos and I just apply it to my epic frag.
Oh yeah, it's
Flare punch, epic.
when players have to come to the pyro, that's when pyro is most powerful. So if you're in overtime and
Also if you have an overheal,
they're trying to capture the point at the last moment, then that's when you want to call, like if you're about to win the point with overtime, you're about to just win the round, get a buff from your medic. Make sure if your medic is alive, and do your best to stay alive before that exchange kind of happens. because Pyro is really useful, because just flames will just deal damage to everyone, guaranteed damage. And air blast can keep people off the point or reflect bombers, things like that. So it's Pyro is really powerful at the very last moments. So you definitely want to like keep an eye out for, pay attention to the timer. Like sometimes people can forget, like, oh, we're about to win. So that's like super important because you're trying to win. So
Okay.
nice.
I did not mean to do that.
Yeah, we didn't even have to do anything to try to stop you. I mean,
What
that's the
happened?
thing is like when players get desperate too, like they might just kill themselves. So it's definitely like a thing where you don't want to fall victim to that. And so if you're on the opposing team and you're trying to cap, what you're probably going to want to do is get your own air blasts off on the other Pyro, get your own damage off on the other Pyro if they're alive, because that's going to be the top priority probably, is killing the Pyro. Pyro, Demo, Heavy are going to
Don't do
be
that.
ultra powerful. So yeah, if you have like an advantage in some way, maybe you have Uber advantage or significant amount of player advantage, things like that. Sometimes you'll want to, your demo's going to want to make this call usually, or whoever your main caller is. But sometimes you'll want to come up to the cliff side. Usually Pyro is not going to be, I feel like Pyro isn't going to be too helpful on this forward hold, other than watching the other angles. Basically, I think what you want to do if your team is doing a forward hold, if your team is watching, say, cliffside rollout, you might want to keep an eye out, not overcommit to, but like, keep an eye out on this on the main rollout. Or if your team is watching the main rollout, just keep an eye out on the cliffside rollout. Or otherwise, just keep an eye out behind your team if everything's kind of being watched out pretty normal. Because I don't think you can do very much on that particular forward hold, unless you guys have any other ideas. I'm gonna take that as
Just
a
awkward
maybe.
silence.
Yeah, I was like, okay. It's kind of hard. I mean, if you can catch some players by surprise, like especially right in here, inside the cliffside rollout area, it's such a tiny zone that if you can kind of, like one thing you can maybe do is like hide around the corner here. If your team is doing a forward hold, or even if your team's kind of passive, if you just kind of ended up over here and you're trying to be cheeky, you can hide around this corner. You might be relatively visible coming up, so be careful and be ready. But maybe you can hide around this corner. I'm not sure. But in either case, if you can catch players like in here, it's amazing for Pyro.
I was going to do that. I was going to like in my screen. I was
Yeah,
just
come
like,
see if you can see me from inside the.
I can only see you from this angle, but that's the only angle I can really see you from.
Let me see your angle.
Yeah, just like look.
Yeah. So yeah,
But,
you kind of have to hug
if
the
I-
wall to see it effectively.
Yeah.
Most players
you have
aren't
to,
going to be paying attention though. But that's why, like, every time you roll out of this area, you want to immediately check your corners. Anytime you go through a choke point, you want to check your sides, because there can always be a player like hiding there. But that's one thing you can do around here is chill out by this area and flood into the choke point here and demolish people. Maybe catch a medic off guard or something like that. Especially if the other team isn't aware. Like, say their demo man walks out through here and their medic is right behind them. Like, you can let the demo kind of walk right by you and then go kill the medic. Other things you can do if you're doing a forward kind of hold is roaming around this house area can be pretty useful, because you're kind of in your own safe space here in this house, because you have corners you can air blast people around. You can rotate out either through upper or through this left side usually if you're going to leave, or if the other combo rolls out through main or something, you might be able to coordinate with your soldier or something to or a soldier scout, whoever your flank is, to sort of attack their combo. So like there's a few areas. Basically what you would want to do is make your presence not known for as long as possible, and then coordinate with a teammate if you want to or need to get a medic pick, for example, because sometimes maybe your medic dies and their medic lives and they have full Uber advantage, either they have the Uber or they're just charging it up they have way more percentages on it, or percentage points on it. So they'll get Uber first and just wipe the floor with you because they are invincible usually, unless they play it bad. So if you want to participate in a sack wave or participate in sort of trying to deal with that Uber disadvantage that your team has, assuming that you're not designated to protect your medic, because usually there's one person that wants to chill out with the medic unless they're literally waiting in spawn. Most of the time they're not though, so if you're not the one protecting your medic, maybe your heavy is or something, then you can definitely, if their team like is trying to roll out again after they lost, but their medic lived and your medic didn't, you can kind of come take this forward ground with your teammates. If they're holding like standard though, there's no way you're gonna get over there without getting mulched by a heavy or a sniper or a scout. So it generally, if you have disadvantage and they have the point and they're holding relatively well, you're mostly gonna be a meat shield for your other classes. Maybe you could get something sneaky in if they're distracting enough, like they bomb cliff and you walk through the house and walk all the way around here or something like that. You can detonator or something like that to do some extra damage, but usually you're not going to be that effective. You're just going to kind of be there with a buff and hopefully take some damage away from your stronger classes. Oh yeah, traps are important for Pyro to know about, I think, especially if you're on detonator scored shot. If your team
rock has a weird collision.
Yeah. Rocks are kind of strange. That's cute though. You can kind of launch rocks or launch pipes at a different angle, I guess. But yeah, if you're running Scorch Shot Detonator especially, but regardless, you'll want to like keep an eye out on traps. If your team kind of loses ground, or if the demo man has time to set up traps kind of forward, usually it'll be like next to the house or on the house, on the just wooden area around here, on the either of these, like on this rock or on the sign, or like around here on the point, maybe even like caution a little bit. So
or right here, or did you?
Yeah, I think I may have. I'm not sure, but yeah. Oh yeah, I did point this out. Yeah, but yeah, like keep an eye out for those traps, because sometimes if your demo man, if like you don't have, especially if you don't have sight of their demo man, you want to like be aware that they can put traps up main or pretty much around any of these corners. The concrete is a little less effective. Maybe they put traps up here sometimes to prevent soldier bombs. That's also a thing I've seen. But yeah, if you have Scorch Shot Detonator, definitely try to clear them out. Otherwise, just air blast, let your team know that they're there. Clear them out with the shotgun if you have it. Let's see. So we talked about holding the point, but in terms of attacking, I guess we talked about the mid fight. But if the other team has a solid hold going on, usually maybe their heavies up here, their demos they're kind of trying to bait you onto the point so like they can mulch you. Definitely, it's not your responsibility to like be the first one on the point. Usually you kind of want to hang it back a little bit, bait your team a little bit, and then sort of take any ground that you can. Just keep an eye out for the sniper, of course. Like if the sniper's on cliff, you're gonna probably want to play with your demo as usual while they try to take the ground. Keep your combo alive. Another thing you probably, since you're probably not gonna like, if you're on the shotgun, what you'll want to do is like use your shotgun. Even if you're on panic tech, honestly, use your shotgun and fight players, especially if they're trying to get on your demo. Just keep them away from your demo. Keep your demo safe. And then in the meantime, like either in between shots or like if you take a little bit of damage, you want to leave a little bit, come back, do some spy checking. Definitely like be very careful about making your patterns predictable, because if you're just always with your demo at all times, always looking forward, kind of, spy might kind of just walk in and go for your medic or something if they're not turning around. So it's kind of like a back and forth little game that you play around the point, where you try to contribute some damage where you can, keep your team safe. Watch your team's sides for bombs like this one that Loxic just did. So or like a random scout, things like
That
that.
was just like a pogo with like 4 rockets.
Yeah, but like, you know, the soldiers can tend to like one of the most, I guess I feel like one of the most powerful times a soldier can bomb is right as the team is sort of walking in, because it kind of disrupts that push and you're kind of out in the open. So keep an eye out on that. If they're timing the bombs really well, then you'll probably want to be there to keep the soldier away, maybe get a reflect off. What else was I gonna mention? In terms of attacking, oh yeah, you can if your combo's relatively safe, maybe the soldier's spy are dead, or maybe the soldier's weak and he can't really bomb right now.
Now, what about like here at
yeah.
the connector for?
Pyro can be pretty okay at the connector. If the sniper's up on cliff, you probably don't want to be here, but you can kind of like surprise soldiers or scouts in here, or engineers every so often.
Yeah, then the soldier will instantly die if anything.
Yeah, so like, especially if you kind of condition them into thinking like you're never gonna show up there because you're always with your combo, and you kind of get a read on like, okay, the soldier's about to waddle in and try to spam us or something. Because a lot of times what soldiers will do, if they claim this connector, they'll just spam your combo down from over here because this is a really good angle. So if you can kind of predict their waddling in, you can kind of just waltz over here, especially with the power jack, and just show up and demolish people in here. Especially if you're running panic attack. But regardless of your weapon choice, you can probably do a decent amount of work here. Things to watch out for, like the mini on concrete, it's pretty annoying, especially if it's wrangled. So if there's a mini right around here, it can watch you walking in. So if you know that there's usually a mini there, you don't want to overcommit into this tunnel, into connector, because it's really you're gonna get eaten alive by the mini. So
Smokey, soldier v soldier, let's go.
I'm gonna end you rightly.
That soldier is a spy.
You know what? Does this may sound out of like
what's up?
topic, but does anyone have a name tag?
I don't think so. I might.
A name
KY.
tag?
Yeah, I want to name my thrower Smokey's squirt gun.
Oh.
Because the flamethrower is as powerful as a squirt gun.
Yeah, I have like 4 description tags and a name tag. I might save my name tag, but you can have a description tag if you want it.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I could just write something in the description about how Pyro's flamethrower is a squirt gun.
Maybe if you want.
A squirt gun?
It feels
Yes,
like it
that's
at
how
times.
powerful it is. It's like a squirt gun.
Definitely feels like that sometimes. Let's see. I think in
Or,
terms
you know,
of
if the flames are not
defending-
even touching it at all, but that barely
there's
happens now
anything
due to
okay.
Jungle Inferno. Like the only time I ever see it is like, it's like every like month or so. It's like, but it still annoys me because like if I'm about to like finish a scout off like with my flames, it's like, how?
Yeah, it's
How?
generally like you should assume minimum DPS. Unless they're like in a really like tight space, they can't really dodge at all. Or if you
Also-
just have really good ping.
Also, if you air blast a like, okay, sorry, go on.
Oh no, go for it.
Alright, no. Like, it's like, if you air blast at a certain angle, sometimes it won't push a player, so rather just like here, I guess at this example, just kind of collide. But like, I did it to like in Frontier once in a casual game. It's like, I did it once, and it just air blasted a heavy upward rather than,
No.
I actually have something to say.
it was like a slight elevated thing, and like,
Mhm.
you can walk
Yeah, if
over-
you look down or up, you can just air blast them up.
Or, you know, there was one time where I couldn't even air blast targets, or, you know, the targets at all, because, like, I air blasted 2 times.
Here, come air blast me, Loxic. I'm standing behind the rock. Come air blast me straight down. I should go
It's like-
forward a little bit.
Like,
Yeah, just aim down. Yeah.
whoa,
So,
what?
so if you aim straight down or straight up, it takes the normal vector of the surface. That's just basically perpendicular to the surface, and that's usually where the player ends up going. So if you air blast me down, I go this way.
Oh, so, like,
So yeah, you can still do it.
okay, that would make more sense now.
Yeah. So
And also,
depending on the angle, you might not go straight up, or you might actually just go straight up. Depends on the
Actually,
surface.
yeah, wait, go over here.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
go
if
straight
you
up
aim-
though, yeah, it'll always go up.
Yeah.
And also, if you look down in air blast, a person behind you will still go up.
Ow.
Yeah, the hitbox goes basically on top of you and around you. Zigzag V has a video that shows like a decent representation of the hitbox. I don't know if it's currently accurate to post Jungle Inferno, but it goes like the center of the box is straight up above the pyro, which means that it goes sort of less range forward, but it still has range behind the pyro.
The air
Also,
blast hit.
Yeah, what's up?
Did the air blast hitbox used to be like a box, but now it's like a cone, right?
No, it's not a cone. They described it as a cone, but I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
TMP said it is a 256 by 256 by 256 cube.
Oh yeah, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Lead,
Oh yeah, the air blast
Frog
pogo.
jump.
leapfrog.
I think I did that once in a Highlander scrim, in total accident, and it led to nothing.
And it led you to die, probably.
Probably.
Is that over here? Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything else I'm forgetting about product. Is
Ooh.
there anything
That was cool.
to mention about products? Maybe defending, or I'm not sure.
Not really. I think we covered everything.
Yeah. Let's see, Uber this ad if you're defending. Let's see if you're. Yeah.
All I
if-
can
I don't know if we talked about that specific.
really
situation.
say about defending is like, oh wait, no, not the. I lost my train of thought.
No worries.
No.
Looking.
Okay, like what I would do is like if I'm like attacked, I guess like if the enemy has point, I just like go back here. I just take the health. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
No worries. I mean, yeah, it depends on
Mission
where you're at. Like, if you're gonna lose the point, backing out to a health pack is usually nice. I mean, unless someone else needs it more than you, which may be the case. Like maybe your heavy needs it or something. He has more health, gonna get more out of it, or your demo, or your medic. But Pyro has a decent amount of health, so health packs kind of give a decent amount of health back. So Pyro can be a good choice to getting these packs. So when you get pushed out. This is kind of like after your defense kind of fails. You could definitely go. You usually want to like coordinate with your medic and kind of follow them out if they're if you're losing the point. Especially if you like have some kind of uber disadvantage. Like what often happens is we'll lose the point. Our medic will start backing out kind of before the rest of us, and then I'll kind of like be a little bit in front of them. So they'll be maybe right around here as we're backing up, continuing backwards, and you just kind of look up, look for bombs, check behind you for spies, kind of like chilling out behind you, but keep rotating your looks back up, because oftentimes when a medic is trying to escape through, say, the cliffside, which is where it seems most commonly the case, is where people try to go. You can kind of expect, especially if you've seen a player kind of do this multiple times, you can kind of expect a demo or soldier bomb. If they back out main, it's kind of similar, but less likely to get bombed, so you can kind of just keep your vision like a little bit up more. It's very rare that a medic is going to be at grass backing out, but it happens every so often, kind of. Not really much else to do other than check for the spy around here. Another spy spot can be like around here. I just noticed like on this rock wall.
I remembered whenever
Or up
like
here.
there like spies will sometimes decloak here if like there's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a medic coming for main.
Mhm.
He'll just like 180 trick stab my medic. Some enemy saw I did that once on my medic.
So
and
where
I was-
was the spot? What was it, up here or back here?
Yeah,
Oh, up
no,
there.
he was up these stairs.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
also my medic, and he just backstabbed my medic.
Yeah, if you're like rolling out main or even through valley, you want to check above you. If your medic is spawning, and they like to go through this main usually, or
Oh
cliffside,
yeah, that's also
right around here is a common. And this can be a spot for you to hide into if you're trying to be a cheeky pyro. You don't want to have your flamethrower
Like, go for
out
some-
because I can see
So
it.
kind of go for like a puff and stain combo.
But Yeah, usually
Yeah.
you're not gonna want your flamethrower out, but yeah, like, because if I have it,
You need to.
if I have it out, you can kind of see it a lot more easily. So usually you want your
if you're
secondary
doing-
or your melee out.
Yeah.
But in either case, yeah, like you can kind of be a little cheeky around there. Another spot
you
spies
know-
like to hang out. If your medic is backing out cliffside, they'll be like
I
in
guess you can just do
this
this.
area.
Where wait, does this work? Smokies, speak of your. Wait, I can still see a decent angle from like. Does this count?
Um.
See
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I can see you like right around here. You can probably
I
see
mean,
my
my
flamethrower,
flamethrower.
right? So, but like barely. So, yeah, like if you're gonna like look away, it might work. But like you're gonna have less time to react. I think. Like at about this point is where I can see the entrance kind of comfortably. And I don't know if that's like that much better.
Wait, try to. You can like.
So yeah, this thing's kind of blocking. If I go to the left of it,
Ow.
you get lingering flames.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of one thing. Remember when we had that MGE, Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
You did like a thing where you moved, you press W, then you stop to extend your flames.
Oh yeah.
And you were hitting me with flames, and I was like trying to hit you with flames, but you were like far.
Yeah, I was
like, you were
outranging
still
you.
hitting me. I was like, how is he hitting me?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. I wonder, does like, ow. Wait, I want to see if like baiting. Wait, what?
They keep your forward and backward momentum.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I forgot. Pressing S like extends your flames a bit, but
Kind of.
Like-
It's yeah, but you can think of it like that. Yeah, that's definitely the way to, like a way to think about it.
I wonder, can you like bait air blast still?
I think so.
I mean, yeah.
You probably can.
Like,
So yeah, you got it.
yeah, you can actually. I
Yeah.
did not know.
If you like comboing with like air blast, like puff, air blast, switch a flare gun, finish him off. It's still kind of possible because you can look up and kill him, but it's not as reliable.
Yeah, there's less range if you're looking up too. If you get someone in a corner,
Like, if you're
against
just-
the wall, then it can work out though.
I just like, I don't really use air blast as like you know, mouse 1, mouse 2, switch to secondary, mouse 1. Like it's like 2000 freaking 12 pyro
16.
pre-jungle inferno pyro. But like, I mean, I
That
do
was like
it
early
sometimes, but like,
2017 to.
it depends on what we're talking about because like, you know, if it's just like standard, like in a standard, like if like you know, Smokey for example, like if you're like here, like I can definitely air blast. I could air blast you from like, you know, mouse 1, mouse 2, and then that. But sometimes, you know, that isn't needed at all, especially if you're like, it's just like. I just feel like it's not really needed because like,
I think
if
it's more of a get off
especially-
me tool rather than like as a free damage tool now.
The one
or
thing
just
I
a
like,
stun
oh
lock,
sorry,
as it used to be,
Mhm.
really.
the one thing I like about the Jungle Inferno change is lingering flames, because you can flare punch pyros again.
Oh yeah.
Players
Just,
did not
yeah.
like the lingering flames, or at least like
Not
whenever.
initially, yeah. I
really
think they're a lot
OP.
more interesting in terms of their like design.
Because,
but
like, if
their
there's, like,
damage
a
was too much
standing-
to start with.
Yeah, if you're like just like a standing target and just like it would do like way more than 24, like way it would just.
Oh
peak
yeah, that was me
beyond.
moving off of the flames too.
And like players, I remember like whenever like Jungle Inferno was released, the you know how the back burner works. Like
Yeah.
Oh
if you
yeah,
were
I
to
remember
do
that.
this-
That was quite the bug. You could like turn around when their flames were hitting them. Yeah, that was
That was
fun. It was
really
silly.
stupid.
But yeah, I think
So, like this.
I think the map review is pretty much taken care of, as far as we know. Is there anything else that you guys want to mention about it?
No.
Not
feel like we're
really.
done.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is a pretty good way to good time to end
I
it.
would like to talk about more pyro stuff, but you know, I guess we can't.
Yeah, not the time to do it at the moment, sadly, because I got to get moving soon. But yeah, thank you guys for coming to the Discord. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that
I
was
had
really
nothing-
helpful.
to really do, so I was like, hey, why not hop here?
Cool. I'm glad you did it. You too, Smokey. Yeah, that's the end of the map review. Thank you guys for watching. I don't think there's anyone who's watching this particular map review because product is pretty well known, but yeah, hopefully this was helpful to some people. We'll find out.
The Pyro is flare gun. No, I mean, flame forward is a squirt gun.
Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.